What do you think of when you think of yourself? Like when you think of it as like from up above, like your sense of self. What does that entail for you? For me, that's a really big, huge concept that it can be very overwhelming. And when I was going through my huge change in life and I was focused on me and kind of only me, not really only me, because we're never focused on just only me, but I had to figure me out. Put it that way. I had to figure me out. And I didn't know what my sense of self looked like because I was so intertwined with my family. And that's okay. But now came a point in my life where they weren't there in the same capacity. And I needed to figure me out. But my sense of self was lacking. I didn't know what that really looked like. And it's a very overwhelming concept to try to dig into and break down often for a lot of us. So when I get overwhelmed by an idea, I go back to the elementary school who, what, where, when, why, and how. And that helps me just break it down into those 5 sections and wrap my head around what that actually means and think about them in those pieces. So, who? The who of where we are, or the who of our sense of self. That to me is your personality traits. Are you funny? Are you more stoic? Are you, do you laugh really easy? Do you just have a low energy to you? Google it. There's a lists and lists of personality traits. And those are different than the traits that I talk about in my Feel Empowered process and all of that. Personality traits. What is your personality like? Are you somebody who's easygoing and fun to be around and you're light and you're happy and you're just feel like a good energy? Are you a little heavier? Are you a little more methodical? Again, none of it right or wrong. Some of it fit other areas of life better than others, but figure out what are your personality traits like? And if you don't know that in yourself, because it's hard to see it in yourself, ask other people. Well, how would you describe my personality? What would you think? And see what they say. And maybe these are people that you kind of know, and then there's their family members have known you forever. See what the gamut is of what people say about you. That's your who. And then your what. These are your skills. These are the things you're going to put on that resume. Well, I know how to do this really well and I can do that really well, but think outside the box beyond just a resume. In life in general, what skills do you have? What is something that you're really good at? Can you just whip out laundry like nobody's business and you know how to get it done efficiently? You fold up those clothes, you hang everything so nicely. That often is a skill because a lot of us don't like to do laundry like that and we don't do it so well. And then we're like, why are my clothes always wrinkled up? Because I don't have the skill that you do of how to go about it. Maybe it comes down to patience, whatever it is. But whatever your skills are through your whole life, not just this is what I learned and I have certifications for skills, okay? Look through those. That's your what. So we get your who, what, where. What stage of life are you in? Are you empty nesting? Are you 20 something years old and you're just trying to figure out what path you want to take in life, in your career? Are you getting ready to retire? Do you have grandbabies? Do you feel like this is your stage in life where you're just going to go off and travel for a while and you don't want any responsibilities and commitments to anyone? You're just going to go explore. Is that the stage of life that you're in? So just that's kind of easier one. Write that down. What's your stage of life? And then the easiest of all is your when. This is simply your age because your age and stage of life often correspond, but they can be really different too. You can be 40 years old and having your first child, or you can be 40 years old and selling off a company and getting ready to retire. It just depends. So that is your age is definitive though. If I'm 55, okay, that's my age. I'm 55. So what does that mean for me at 55 though? Does that mean that I'm realizing I don't have decades upon decades in front of me of building this business and that I feel like I need to do things a little faster? Do I feel like I have some added pressure on me because of that age? Am I also dealing with some life changes that are going on due to my age that may affect going about my business and things like that? So your age also plays into your sense of self. So we have your who, what, where, when, then your why. Your why is not just like your Simon Sinek, like this is why I want to do what I'm doing in life. But your why to me is your previous experiences, good, bad, ugly, indifferent, whatever it is, things that have happened to you throughout the years that shape who you are. They shape why you feel the way you do. They shape why you are handling certain situations the way you do, why you're choosing to be in this situation, why you're dealing with this person in your life. They shape all of your why you do things, all those previous experiences. You can go through and you can journal all those out if you want. And then there's your how. That's what I focus on. That's what I learned is my sweet spot. I deal with your personal process, how we do things best. Because for me, I'll be honest, when I first took the Clifton Strengths Assessment, it was suggested by a company that I was working with. I was doing my own thing within that company, but it was suggested that if you wanted to, here's this test you can take. And at that point in my life is when I was going through all my transitions and I'm changing and trying to figure out my sense of self. And I'm like, yes, if there's a test that can help me figure out who the heck I am, let me take it. And I took it among several others as well, got the results. Interesting. Read the whole report, did the full 34, got everything back. Very interesting. Then that was it. And I did what most people do when we take those. Set it aside, filed it away, didn't apply it, didn't implement it, didn't really understand how to do that. And I just kind of hung on to the first couple. I'm like, okay, yep, this is what it said I am, and whatever that meant by the definition that it gave me. And that was it. And then I was watching a leadership video. I was zoomed in on that. And I watched this guy get up on stage. And honestly, I was thinking, like, here we go. Somebody else is going to say how, hey, this is how I built this great business. You should be able to do the same thing too. But I was open-minded and I was watching it. That's not at all what he said. He talked about these and he talked about these in a way that I had not heard before. And it made sense. All of a sudden, it like I lit up, my ideas lit up. I grabbed my results back out, went and found them from whatever box I had put them in, and I'm looking through them. And all of a sudden, there was meaning, and I understood what it meant in my life. And I was like blown away. I'm like, oh my gosh, I finally feel like I have a full sense of self. I understand why I do things the way that I do in terms of, yes, my previous experiences, but I understand how I go about things best for me and how that aligns or doesn't align with other people, and how I can press forward now in a more confident way because I understand what works best for me and what doesn't. And I can finally, for the first time in my life, be okay with not thinking that I should. And I stopped shooting on myself. Now I'm human. Of course, it happens at least once a day to admit. But overall, I have a much better, stronger self-intelligence. At the time, I just happened to be studying emotional intelligence as well. And funny enough, as much as I enjoyed what I was learning from that process and that certification, there were parts of it that just didn't sit right with me. But when I took the two of them together and I blended the results and what this all actually means with emotional intelligence, That's where I came up with the self-intelligence, because you pull in that sense of self. And I focus on the how for people. And when you understand and you accept, embrace, and you know how to manage how you do things best, that's going to help with your perspective on all the other pieces of your sense of self, your personality traits, your skills, your stage of life, why things happen to you the way they did growing up, and whatever it is in your previous experiences. And now you have the capacity to know how to deal with everything and all of that, your age, how to deal with it the way that works best for you. So that's what I focus on in your sense of self. If you need help going deeper into maybe your why, and you really want to understand why is context so low for me, then I have therapists that I can send you to that will help you dig into that deeper, because that is now getting out of my lane. But I can help you understand your process. And if you want to go deeper in a different direction, I have referrals for you for that too. I don't pretend to know everything. I know what I know, and I can help people understand how you do things best through your personal process.